Hey there. So today I want to talk about problems and how, in just a few simple steps, maybe even only one of these steps, we can right size our problems so that we're better able to handle them. Hey, I'm Amy. This is Aging Audaciously, where we have fun breaking the rules. And I almost couldn't get through my intro. I don't know what that was all about. So, a while ago, I accidentally drove by my childhood home, and it had been a while since I had been in that neighborhood. And I was shocked because this sprawling house that I remembered in my kid brain inside my grown-up body, I thought it was just like this rambling, beautiful house with a huge front yard, great big side yard, these beautiful pine trees in front of it that so that if you were right in front of the trees, you could barely see the house. Well, the house was small. It was a mid-century Rambler. It was small. And the yards were even smaller than what I remembered. The trees were still there. The trees were there. And it has nothing to do with my memory and everything to do with the people who own the house have every right to do what they want with the trees. But they had cut the lower branches off, so now there was no mystery to the house behind it. And so that, and I just bear with me for a second, that got me thinking about how when we're faced with a problem, sometimes I think we turn it into our childhood homes. I think that we don't look at it with our adult perspective. We immediately think it's much bigger and more complex than what it truly is. Now, I am not talking about illness, health problems, addictions, loss of a loved one, divorce, anything like that. I am not talking about that. I'm talking about day to day, some not so day to day problems, maybe work problems or projects that seem overwhelming or daunting, household problems that seem overwhelming or daunting, problem with a friend or coworker, things like that. Stuck in traffic type of problem. I hate to change type of problem. So things like that. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So the first thing is to give it that grown-up perspective, right? Um, what am I doing? So in order to give it a grown-up perspective, we have to actually look at it. And a question you can ask yourself um, is this as big as I think it is? Or even better question that I heard on Insight Timer is, what am I exaggerating? And I just want to say that one more time. When I heard this teacher on Insight Timer say this, what am I exaggerating? I was on a walk listening to this and it stopped me in my tracks because I think to myself, I have a feeling I exaggerate many, many things. I love to tell stories. I don't mean lies. I mean, like, I love to write. I love to write fiction. I love to write blogs. I love to create a story around something. And I think because that's my nature, I also have a tendency to exaggerate things in my mind. And I have a feeling since this teacher uh, was telling us about this on Insight Timer, that many of you might have that same inclination to perhaps exaggerate things. So, first of all, what am I exaggerating? Am I exaggerating the complexity of this, the weight of it? Am I exaggerating my responsibility for solving it? It's a good question to ask yourself and give yourself some time with that. What am I exaggerating? And then maybe just start writing down some things. You never know what can come to you. All right, that was number one. Number two, take your problem out for a viewing. So whether it is like maybe you have to look at it in all different aspects, sort of like going to see a house, a showing of a house. You want to see inside, outside. So look at your problem. And if you can look at your problem objectively with no emotion, even better. But also, sometimes I have a tendency to become very insular. If I feel like I have an overwhelming problem, I fold in on myself and I think I am the only one who can handle it, who has the responsibility to fix it or solve it, or, any of the things that you do with a problem. And so I keep it inside and it just swirls and swirls and swirls, right? And because I only am showing this problem my perspective, I can't make headways. So another thing to do within this same take it out for a viewing, not only to yourself, but how about a trusted friend? Sometimes I can have a problem. Like maybe it's just like, I'm not sure what to do with this graduation party. I don't know. I'm just making something up. And I have it in my head and I keep it in my head and I just twirl and swirl with it. But the minute I open up and say to my husband, a friend, a sister, I have this problem. This is the problem I'm facing. They look at it with fresh eyes and can say, oh, well, what if you tried this thing? What if we did it this way? And suddenly, all these options open up, and I, first of all, no longer feel burdened because I've shared it, um, asking for help. Now, here's a little side note with that. We don't want to overwhelm our friends with all our problems because then they might not want to talk to you anymore. So I'm just talking about like big nagging things that you really do need help with, not things that you just want to complain about but not do anything about. All right? Okay, cool. So that opens things up. I'm putting makeup on and it doesn't even look like I've done anything. Okay, well, that's what we're going to do. All right, number 3. And this sometimes can be hard as well. But what if you listed 1 to 3 small things you could do right now about that problem? Even if it was something as easy as okay, let's just go with the graduation party. Let's just say you were worried um, you were worried because you thought, where am I going to put all these people if it rains? Okay. So one little thing you could do, you could write down, if it rains, what are my options? A, the garage. B, my neighbor's garage. I don't know. C, I could see who has tents. Like you could start, I feel like once you start to list things, more, what am I doing? More and more ideas come to you. It's almost as if taking that pen to paper frees up an area of your brain. So then it's like, oh, that, you pulled the stopper out of that area of your brain, and then more ideas flow in. It's almost like a flow, just like that. So I really think one of those three things could absolutely help you. So, first of all, number one, is this problem as big as I think it is? And, or, what am I exaggerating? That's both number one. So, what am I exaggerating? And really think about that. Write that down if you want to. Number two, take it out for a viewing, right? Actually look at your problem and all the aspects of it. And talk to someone who understands. Like, you wouldn't want to present a problem to someone who has no idea what you're talking about, although they could give you a beginner brain aspect of it. But once you open up to somebody else about this problem, first of all, it gets you out of your head talking about it. They have a different perspective. Them starting to talk about it might give you other ideas as well. It's just it feels so much better to do that. And three, write down 1 to 3 small things you could do right now to start tackling that problem. I really hope this helped you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Maybe I'll finish my makeup at some point. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, thank you. Bye.